Silas could take advantage of, but I feel like at this point, was there a better choice? 4 or 5 freaks to make? I'm not sure. They just go for the Ornn. So not only is Silas going to be able to steal like multiple very good ultimates in the team fight, they also have Garen that will be a nuisance for the Ornn later into the game, and maybe even in the early game. The only real pain point potentially for Chrono Break is the bot lane, but even then, they could very much just outplay there as well. If Senna or Misfortune are ever out of position, Nautilus base damage and CC is still very much a threat for either of these champions. Right, a little bit of a freeze there, but no problem. Right, we're going into the game. We're not seeing any major early game moves. Level 1.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Classic fan out from both teams.
Minions have spawned.
Chrono Break maybe sniffing for a ward opportunity here, but they won't really find one. Sizzled and Dusk right here. Maybe we'll be able to get some early damage onto the Misfortune and Senna. 5 freaks bot lane are not aware of this movement in the bot lane brushes. Oh, already a very good trade from Autoplay. Actually, it's Chrono Break bot lane just opting for the early push, making sure they get that before the double ranged bot lane is able to outpush them. So that is level 2 first, already secured. That is a major thing for this bot lane of Chrono Break. They are able to just weather the storm in these early portions of the game and not get poked down too much. That is already half a battle won right here. Now later on they will still have to worry about the scaling. The raw scaling of Senna is absolutely wild. Echoes of Helya, some souls coming in. Senna gets really scary as the game goes on, but right now we're seeing Ares completely dominating in these trades already with the Conqueror. No2 really not able to respond all that much. Cargilly just did his free camps on the blue side of the map, and now he's going for that gank, but Autoplay will use his flash to get away safely. Still takes quite a bit of punishment. And Bilbo still looking for the Abscond Abduct. And now the Electrocute procs. That is Aurora being able to trade back quite effectively, but now no E available. Aftershock procs from Bilbo. Autoplay really close to dying, and that is where he will probably have to be forced to teleport back to lane. He's very close to just seeing a gray screen, so yeah, this is his only chance to teleport back. The wave is still in a pretty bad spot. That will also force Bilbo to make a teleport of his own. But he's still in a better position. Meanwhile, it's Boot and Cargilly fighting for his Skull Crab, but it's Amumu with level 4. 5 freaks bot lane able to hold out the Chrono Break bot lane. And that means first blood for 5 freaks. Amumu gets the isolated solo kill. And that is a lot of pressure off of 5 freaks' shoulders, especially when it comes to this bot lane. Autoplay in a lot of trouble, under a lot of pressure. This is just a straight up solo kill from the Silas. Every time Silas is building up a slow push like this, I feel like you just have to respect him that much more. Especially when he's running Aftershock and he lands that E on top of you. So many added resistances. It's pretty much impossible to get a good trade-off against him if he actually lands that E, so... I feel like this is just a case of Bishan not really respecting the Silas enough, and that is first blood. Sorry, not first blood, but response to the first blood from Chrono Break. And this Silas has to be a major player for Chrono Break if they want to win this game. No2 in a bit of an awkward spot here. Now he's trying to push down this lane, but he won't be able to push it all the way to the tower, which means he'll probably have to teleport back just to try and fix that wave state. It will be difficult. Autoplay jumps back with W. Moon was close by to hover. Five Freaks falling also very much respecting the possibility of a dredge line. But Bilbo has just hit 6 and he steals the Amumu ultimate while Amumu is not able to use ultimate himself, but it's actually Bilbo that falls. He doesn't quite have enough damage to get even one kill in that situation. And Autoplay is now chasing down Cargilly. Five Freaks have the priority, but they do not collapse in time to take advantage, but Boot is here, lands a bandage toss, and he will get that kill. Very well played by the Five Freaks jungler. He's already 2 kills up on Cargilly. Five Freaks actually fighting back against Chrono Break in this early game, fighting kills. And if they keep going like this, this is very much a great situation for them. Now what can Chrono Break do to try and counteract this? What will be the first neutral objective they go for? I mean, Garen has plenty of priority in the top lane, so I imagine it will be much easier for Chrono Break to just go for Krugs. Go for Grubs and continue to play for Grubs. I mean, Garen in the side lane later on. I mean, having that side lane pressure could be crucial against an Ornn. You want to force at least someone to respond so that you have an easier time on the map. That's the first free grub secured by Chrono Break. Autoplay going for a gank of his own. The ultimate lands. Both bot lane is trapped in that circle, but there's just not enough damage. It was just Senna hitting them. I mean, this is that extra pressure that maybe allows... No, it doesn't allow Five Freaks to get the dragon because the Super Mega Death Rocket just straight up steals it. The damage from the ultimate was more than the smite. Boot was just straight up not ready for that occurrence. No one was blocking from that angle. And Chrono Break just get an objective where they didn't really deserve to get it, but they stole it. And now Autoplay in a bunch of trouble once again. Bilbo uses the edge of the Aurora ultimate to close the gap. And that is another solo kill for Chrono Break's mid laner. autoplay in so much trouble. 37 CS in 9 minutes. This is not a very strong Aurora right now. I mean, with the base damage and the scalings, the longer the game goes on, the ultimate will still have plenty of value, but right now it's not looking so hot. And Chrono Break want to take this fight. They have Sejuani close by, being able to follow up with an ultimate, but Cargilly was not in range. He throws down the Glacial Prison, but it does not land, and Healthier Boot is here, and that's going to be a kill in response from 5 Freaks. Chrono Break go too far for that kill, and they are punished. But it could have been even worse. Curse of the Sad Mummy was still available. They did not pull the trigger on that one. But that does mean 5 Freaks could continue to pressure onto this Jinx, who's now in a pretty rough spot. But Bilbo still has TP, so I don't know just how aggressive 5 Freaks should be here. I feel like they should be careful on this one, but they go for this play anyway. Aurora ultimate into Curse of the Sad Mummy. The TP response from Bilbo is a bit too late. Bandage Toss stuns him, but now it's a 2v4 situation. Chrono Break no longer able to fight back. And this should just be... Well, it will be a kill for Bilbo. He finds a kill in that spot, but he dies regardless. And that is an extra kill gifted to the Misfortune. If you're 5 Freaks, you're definitely happy with the state of affairs right now. Jinx losing so much. Your Misfortune gaining another kill. Bishan is definitely far from fed, but he's making sure the rest of the team is. And maybe that is all that's needed, really. With that being said, the gold lead for 5 Freaks is still not that big, all things considered. Ares is definitely pulling the gold lead a little bit in Chrono Break's direction. Maintaining high CS numbers. The Ornn pretty much has to respect Garen at all times on the slow push. With Conqueror, Garen's damage is just really, really hard to deal with. Nautilus also appeared on the roam top lane, but yeah, Ornn will not take the bait on that one. It would have to be a straight up dive, and I'm not sure if they had enough damage to secure that one. We could see some more movement down bot once again, but Nautilus is all the way down top, and Jinx is all alone under the tower. And this is 5 Freaks just getting a freebie while, well, Chrono Break were making a play down top, securing the grubs, so at the end of the day, I think it was probably just Zizzle's making a mistake there. Not really respecting the possibility of a cross map, and 5 Freaks get that one done. And now Bilbo could be in trouble next. Curse of the Sad Mummy coming in. But there's not a lot of damage right now between Aurora and Mumu. But I guess Leandri's Torment is enough. Boot gets kill number 4. As the dragon timer approaches, 5 Freaks are in a very good spot to secure that one. Cargilly, it does look like he will not be heading towards that objective. So this is 5 Freaks getting the dragon. Evening up the dragon tally here. This time, no steal with a Super Mega Death Rocket. And this gold lead went from minuscule to sizable. Before the plates fall, 15 seconds left until that happens. No 2 doing much better than last time. Last time we had the Shen versus Gnar matchup, and that was definitely Shen on the struggle bus. He's itemizing towards a Warmogs, it looks like. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this itemization. Would definitely love to see some resistances on top of that health. Now, what is the next move from Five Freaks? They rotated their bot lane down to mid. Autoplay still in the side lane versus the Sylas, but this is a side lane fight that Aurora will continue to lose. With Sylas having Proto Belt and Conqueror. Maxing W. Really tough to fight against. Chrono Break, when it comes to this mid lane push, they have to be careful. At any point, they could be hit by a stray bandage toss into a Curse of the Sad Mummy. Both junglers covering their bot lane right now. Maybe this is a small window where Chrono Break could look for something. Cargilly over the wall. He gets spotted out by that ward. And it's straight to the Herald right now for Chrono Break. Taking advantage of the fact that they got that lane pushed and the Garen is still very strong. Instead, Five Freaks will go onto the Sylas. Bandage toss into Curse of the Sad Mummy. Senna also following up with her ultimate. Oh, Bilbo! I don't think she was quite aware of how Aurora ultimate works. He basically blinked twice. First he blinked to safety, and then he blinked back into the enemy team, so a bit of a noopsie there, and Five Freaks. That's kill number 9. As now autoplay goes onto the Jinx, and Sizzles has nowhere to go. He flashes too late to be able to respond to the Bella time. And Five Freaks are just getting kills everywhere on the map. David flashing in, doesn't care. This is a bit of a statement from Five Freaks, considering what happened in their first game. If they land a win here, that looks very promising for their playoff hopes. I mean, this is one of the teams that you will be fighting against for that number 6 spot, you have to imagine. Playoff spots are limited. If you just look at the power rankings and see how the teams were perceived by the community, you could count that as a win, a big win for Five Freaks if they manage to score one here, but they still have to get it done. Now in this mid game, their true strength will be tested. But luckily for them, I feel like the ease of execution on this comp is very low. When it comes to team fighting, it's all about just layering the ultimates together. But it's Chrono Break actually being able to secure this first tower and maybe another one as well, but it's actually Jinx that takes that Herald. Will that result in the initiation for Five Freaks? Dusk goes for a hook, but there's no follow-up. The body language from Chrono Break was like, yeah, this is not where we want to fight, and I feel like they were right. It was Dusk who overstepped his boundaries, and now, once again, approaching the dragon, Five Freaks have the advantage. Ares has teleport though. How is he going to maneuver this? He's just going to continue pressuring down the tower. And I feel like, yeah, he should be able to get it. At this point, Ornn's base damage no longer concerns Garen all that much. So we're approaching a situation where Garen will just start to become a problem for Five Freaks as they set up for neutral objectives and try to find favorable fights for themselves. But yeah, if Chrono Break continue to present Five Freaks with these opportunities, then Garen's advantage will basically not mean much, if anything, really.
Let me give you a hug.
And you have to consider that Five Freaks team comp, I think, is safe to say, will scale harder compared to the Chrono Break team, so can't really afford to make many mistakes from here on out. They are on a bit of a time limit. Garen has plenty of wave clear in this side lane matchup versus Aurora, but not really able to pressure onto the tower, with Aurora's wave clear also being more than sufficient. And what is the next option here for Chrono Break? What is it exactly that they're looking for? I think the easiest way to get something done is to try and catch the bot lane on one of these mid waves as they approach. Cargilly is there, try and make things happen, but I feel like he's not trying to position aggressively enough. Five Freaks, they are giving up the mid push, but I guess they don't really care, where they just are able to catch out the Jinx like this. Zizzles burns Cleanse, but dies anyway, and this is Five Freaks just going straight to the Baron. This will probably force Garen to respond with a teleport. Ornn teleports as well. Five Freaks putting everything towards the Baron. Ares decides not to pull the trigger on the teleport response, so I guess Chrono Break's just accepting that this Baron is all but gone, and they're just trying to get Garen as fed as possible on the other side. You know, I like the approach from Chrono Break, just like the solo laners being aware that this was not the fight to take when your Jinx is gone, and like when you're not even able to have your Jinx there and have her activate the reset that turns around the fight. You're basically just forced to play the cross-map game, and they did so successfully. Damage control is still there, but Jinx is still way behind the curve, and now without her cleanse, it's gonna be so hard for her to play teamfights. Chrono Break were reliant on this early game going well, but as things stand, they are already in a very precarious position. Five Freaks deciding to go in a 0-4-1 spread. Multiple mid, Ornn side laning in the bot lane. Well, look at this though, there's Silas on the flank, this could be dangerous if Chrono Break decides to pull the trigger. Still waiting, I don't think Five Freaks are aware of his positioning. Silas could steal any of these ultimates and just rain down hell on the backline, but Chrono Break decide against it. They looked for an opportunity for a while there and decided against pulling the trigger, and that means Five Freaks eventually are able to raise this tier 2 in the mid lane. But can they get more than that is the question. It's straight to the Cloud Drake right now for Chrono Break, as Bilbo continues to destroy turrets in the side lane. And this is just the approach that Chrono Break decided to take. They will not contest while they still, you know, they're still able to concede these dragons without much of an issue. Soul is still on the table. They're maintaining this 3,000 gold gap. Where 5 Freaks are still very much favored to win this game, but at least Chrono Break are giving themselves a fighting chance. I mean, Silas could still very much turn the tides here if he finds the right ultimate. He targets the backline. That is followed up by a Jinx reset. Right now, as it stands, Chrono Break are still very much happy with continuing to play this side lane game. There's still a tier 2 bot that is there for the taking. Right now, 5 Freaks focus. It will go towards the Baron, but here comes the engage from the Silas. He has to press Zhonya's. 5 Freak, David caught up in all the CC, but actually there was just not enough damage. It was just the Silas there, along with his support and jungler. While Ares is busy fighting the Ornn, he will be able to win out on that one. But with Flash Burnt, he's able to get away. Well, not for long, I guess. When Ares follows up with a Flash of his own, and that is a solo kill for the Garen. But now your base is in tatters, potentially. Super Mega Death Rocket does absolutely nothing. Everyone is still full health. 5 Freaks, they will not be able to take down the Nexus on this push, obviously, but yeah, I feel like there were better chances to find a fight for Chrono Break. Ares is level 17. He's absolutely huge, but how much does this really mean in the context of the game? Wouldn't you prefer to just have Hullbreaker if you're really committed to this side lane playstyle? Okay, that as I'm saying that, Bilbo in a lot. Sorry, Bishan in a lot of trouble, and it's a pick that goes first to Chrono Break. 5 Freaks will respond with a one of her own. Boot will get that one. Glacial Prison stuns up David, but it will not result in another kill. Baron is up now. It's 5 Freaks mid laner gone. As a trade for his support. Chrono Break will not start up the Baron. Their mid lane wave is not prepped. They'll have to take care of that first. But they don't want to relinquish control of this Baron Pit entirely. Boot comes in with a Curse of the Sap Mummy, but the follow-up from 5 Freaks is not there this time. And Zizzles, all he has to really do is burn Cleanse. Although, with that Cleanse gone, without his summoners once again. And the next engage from 5 Freaks could be devastating. 5 kills to 17, and it still feels like 5 Freaks have not yet put the finishing touch on this game. Their lead feels precarious, even though they do have the scaling, they do have the champions that can make the difference. I want to see them have this decisive team fight that will close this game out. Cloud Soul coming up. Bilbo on the top side with TP. Bilbo coming in from the other side. Chrono Break will attack from multiple angles, but Jinx is nowhere near. He's not auto-attacking at all, but Garen is onto the backline, and he's just wreaking havoc onto the MF. The Misfortune and Senna both gone. Five Freaks did not really do a good job of peeling from their backline. Jinx is gone, but look at Ares. He's still out there pressuring the Aurora, and he will be able to catch up. A decisive strike is enough. And Ares finally transitioning his lead towards the team fight, but now Boot strikes back. Curse of a Sad Mummy. He's a very strong mummy himself. And this front line will be able to kill Kargili eventually as Boot comes in for the base. He's gonna try to get it. He's gonna try and get at least one tower, but it's not gonna happen. Silas and Jinx are already up, so I guess Boot was just. He should have just recalled and then gone towards the Baron. I think that was the crucial point for Chrono Break right there. Ares being able to find the backline and just kill both of Misfortune and Senna in one swoop, but now this Baron will go towards Five Freaks, and it's once again going to be Chrono Break on the defensive. It's getting more and more dangerous for Chrono Break. The Ornn upgrades are starting to come in. Cleaver already completed for Sunup. Bloodthirster upgrade is there for Misfortune. Malignance upgrade. All of the upgrades you could ask for are already there. So that's an extra gold lead right there for Five Freaks. And once again, it's Silas and Ornn onto the backline. Silas versus Zhonya's, but I feel like this time Five Freaks successfully managed to hold off the Garen, as is Boot going onto the backline himself. Ares still trying to chase after the backline, but it doesn't look like it's going to result in a kill. Meanwhile, Jinx is just getting straight up 1v1 by the Amumu. Will not die. Will keep herself alive for a small moment in time, but eventually will fall to the Ornn. Aurora is left to push into the base, and it's just Bishan pushing mid. It's no one else there pushing. Kargili trying to buy some time. Is this going to be the end of the game? I wonder. If Ares able to hold off 4 members of Five Freaks, he goes too far forward. He doesn't have flash to escape. With Ares gone, surely that's the end of the game. That has to be it. One last Curse of a Sad Mummy steal from Bilbo, but he will have to watch his own Nexus explode. Five Freaks on the board in Season 11.